At this point, that's when we also need to start seeing the zones in the body I was talking about. So, I want to start seeing where the pernicious is. And then I see them in these zones. The upper zone. The upper zone is really interesting because aside from the many issues we might have going on in the head, from head colds to headaches to migraines to tinnitus to vision to bleeding gums to rotting teeth to mouth ulcers to liver spots to not enough color to too much color to dry to oily skin, the list goes on. But what's really cool about the upper zone, which is from CV17 to Jin-Huai, is it contains half the lungs. Now, I think about stuff like that. That's really cool. The upper half, to be exact, though it's not exactly half if the lungs were measured. I mean, I've never dissected someone to measure up exactly the lobes and everything else like that. Remember, half and balance and all those things. But this is interesting because clinically we can start to see the upper half of the lungs as lung heat issues or rising issues. So that if there's heat, it's catching up in the top corners of the lungs. Heat rises. And damp and cold settles in and puts phlegm, cold, and pneumonia down in the bottom part of the lungs. And I start now seeing the lungs as, is the qi harassing the upper part of the lungs? Is the qi sinking in the lower part of the lungs? Is the whole thing way in excess, or is the whole thing way in deficiency? And that interests me.